consumers really care about shopping, and they don't really care about the payment experience, which has to be, as transparent as can be, and especially when you add security to it. But you still can, build a great user experience or good user experiences, because there's a hierarchy when it comes to strong customer authentication. There's a hierarchy of the authentication methods. You have to stick to what users are used to. And if you manage to do that, you use your smartphone for the possession factor, and then you would use biometrics as a second factor, and notify the user through push notifications. They're used to that when they have to authenticate, and this is as frictionless as can be. And then second comes the use of knowledge factor. So it's a secret code that you would enter into the interface, a bit less frictionless. And then third of the list would be using OTP, whether it's by SMS or via apps, and then it is more friction, because you have to enter a one-time password into a separate interface or, in a web browser. And then bottom of the list, which is very friction, which brings a lot of friction, is, all the fallback mechanisms that you put in place for people not having smartphones. Now, yes, you do have friction there, and, it could be a remote call. It is compliant, of course, to PSD2, but it brings friction. And it's not just a small thing. For tier one banks, you're looking at 20 to 30% of their user base not having smartphones, so not able to do app-based authentication. You need a strong government sponsorship. I mean, there's nothing that you can do, because digital ID has to be widespread in the population for it to work. And if you look at what has been done in the Nordics, for instance, governments supported digital ID and worked with the large banks around bank ID-like initiatives. And this was a huge success. And now big banks are delivering digital IDs. We trusted them with our money. Now they seem to trust them with digital IDs. And I think fintechs could, play a role there. And it's going to bring massive advantages to not just to the entire economy, but to the financial sector in particular, and banking in particular. Look like you could actually remove KYC, cumbersome processes, because you have digital ID in place, and bring new services or extend your services as a bank to external users. This great balance between security and putting people, consumers at the heart of what we're doing. I mean, we see open banking growing everywhere else in the world, and there's no PSD2, but there are still, people are still wary about security. Great user experience and the right amount of security, and the risks are paramount. I mean, the risks are growing, whether you have regulation or not, right? So I think as an industry, I think we're quite clever at what we're doing, and we can work together to find out solutions, just like what was happening with open banking before PSD2 in the UK. So I think we are on a good path. Key as well, I think, is to give the banks and issuers ways to really roll out great solutions. I think that's why Canon from Banfico and myself, we work together just to provide this this innovation in the ecosystem, that we bring solutions beyond regulation.